welcome to the 10-Day Growth Hacking Challenge with your host, Nader Sabri. And today we're here with Victoria. She's doing something quite incredible, which we're going to talk a little bit more about, get more information about her, and to reach below at any time of interest as we do this. Before we get started, this is based on the Growth Thinking Design Methodology book. If you want to do what we're doing here, this is your guide. Let's get started. Today, we've got Victoria. She's in a very interesting space in a very interesting time. She is solving the problem that relates to mental health, and she's doing it digitally in a highly effective and a very sophisticated way. This growth hack is extremely interesting. She shared some of the background work she's done. It is quite amazing. What she's done though, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about it after she tells you what it is. So I'm going to hand it over to Victoria. Victoria, how is hack number one? And explain to us what it is and what has happened so far.
Hi, everyone. It's really good to be here. And thanks, Nader, for the intro and participation on this growth challenge. I'm really excited to be here. So what I did on last couple of days, so as we talked in the first session, so I created this kind of diagnostic checklist. So now it's a bit raw data. So when people have different disorders, they might not know what kind of disorders they have or issues. So then that's why I created this kind of checklist. So now it's kind of raw. Initially, it's more than 27 different types of disorders. So what I'm going to do later, I'll make those, digitalize those versions, making in PDFs or even type form, and share with people.
Fantastic. So 27 is a lot. And she hasn't even, you're just scratching the surface at this time. And you're probably shocked with that number. There's so deep. She's gone to kind of 3 layers of depth, which is quite amazing. And the hack here, guys, is creating a lead magnet that's a PDF that, hey, if I'm feeling depressed or anxiety or burnout, I go to this checklist, and it's a free checklist that's worth X amount, and you give your email in exchange. Very classic hack, not a big deal. But what is the big deal here is the fact that you can quickly diagnose yourself and then start to work on her system. What's interesting about how she's done this is she's obviously done a paper prototype. Well, that's not so obvious. Most people start paper prototyping and they're like, this is too simple. And one of the benefits of paper prototyping is you don't want to be making mistakes as you scale. So if you get it right on paper, then you can start to churn it. One of the leaders in this space, believe it or not, is Walt Disney. So Walt Disney is the creator of the storyboard. And the storyboard wasn't because of a creative method, but it was because if we're going to produce this cartoon, we better produce it on paper first so that we don't have to spend money on actors and voice actors. Of course, we don't got to spend money on all the other things. We can see it visually in one spot, identify all the errors and improvements before even lifting an ounce of energy or spending a penny. That's the equivalent of what a paper prototype in what we're doing here. So what Vicky has done is, Victoria, sorry, you go by nickname Vicky as well, or no?
Yeah.
All right. So what she's done is she's built the prototype for the diagnostics. But what she's done as well is that she's already initiated articles that are going to flow with it. And what we noticed here is that we need to link the two. So if an article is out getting search engine optimized, it needs to be able to connect to the diagnostic checklist. And her diagnostic checklist has great potential to actually become an online diagnostic tool once she irons out all the wrinkles, especially when it comes to the fact that I don't know. So I'm not feeling well, I don't know. I'm burned out, I don't know. So we want to find that kind of gray area and help people. You know what? I'm going to stop talking because I'm super excited about this. Victoria, take over. Show us what has happened. Show us what's under the hood. Guys, get ready. This is incredible.
Yeah, thanks, Nader. So I will just, as you mentioned, this is just a paper prototype. So this is more like a dump of the idea. So what we have here, we have different types of disorders. So the mood disorders, anxiety, eating, trauma-related personality, and borderline type disorders. And here we have, so for example, under mood disorders, we have a couple of disorders in that category. So what we're going to do, so then when we have under each category, we have the diagnostic tools. So first it would be PDF, and those for example, emotion, sad, hopeless, guilty, irritability. So we will have the checklist, and then people, when they see that, they will see in a better format than here. So this is in a nutshell, the whole information. So this will give us a lot of juice and thought, how we can tailor this and make it better for the user.
Fantastic. So what Vicky has done here, of course, again, paper prototype. On the left side there, if you see the outline, that's layer 1. And then layer 2 is the sub-diseases. So I didn't know that there was this area called mood disorders. And so that was an interesting learning from when you first showed it to me. Then I didn't realize like how many different possible things are inside that, which is quite incredible because it comes down to that same gray area I talked about when someone says, I'm not feeling well, but I don't know why. And it could be a multitude of things, but at least if you can self-diagnose yourself by going through a checklist, which is essentially yes or no, with really good descriptions. And so she started the process, and it's quite amazing to see that because again, and I know that all you're seeing is a paper prototype, but that's how this starts and it can go to amazing places. The other thing that I saw here was that the fact that when we see those categories, we can create a mood kit. And as you see for each category, a kit, meaning under a mood disorder, I think we have 5, right, Vicky? 5 different areas. So that's 5 different PDFs. And then a 6th one would be a kit that brings it all together. And that kit is for all 5 of them, of course, that people that know, I have a mood problem, I don't know what it is. And so they can figure out where it is in one of those, rather than being like, okay, I know that I have some symptoms that relate to bipolar. So let me go to the bipolar checklist. So this gives Vicky more power. Okay, so how does it give you more power? It gives you more content to push out there, more value to get more emails, because the gold here is getting those emails. In the digital world, if you don't have someone's email, you own nothing. Even if you have 1 million followers, you can lose them overnight by being shut out or your account being hacked. Have a whole bunch of emails, you legally have the ability to reach out to people and actually own that customer relationship. So what we're after here is building that experience and obviously driving them to download and use the app that helps them solve these problems. She's demonstrating the problems here and they solve it by using the app. And she's got an excellent hook, which is the first session free, correct, Victoria? Yeah. So that's an excellent kicker, no risk, and just get started. The other thing, if you want to share as well, that you did some articles, and she started with sleep. By the way, sleep is a big one. So I know we talked about that offline a bit, but sleep is one of those areas I think a lot of effort has to be put into, and everybody has some kind of a sleep problem of some kind, including myself. Nonetheless, we need to align the content with the diagnostics so that each one of them would lead to the CTA, the call to action, to actually going to that particular diagnostic. So what this will do is it'll create a calendar outline for Victoria, meaning we've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 things, correct? Is that 1, 2, 3, 6 on the left? And if we have 5 in each one of them, that's 30. And if we do a target of 3 articles, that's 90 articles. 90 articles. And the ability to search engine optimize because of the richness of that type of content is incredible. Here's one of the growth hacks that we've done in the past as well. And this is really important for Victoria, is the 80-20 rule. So it's not like you have to create a 100% unique article in each case. What does that mean? Is you can have a starter and the ending actually to be almost copy paste, meaning you can start with the idea of mood disorders as a general one, and you can list what they are with links to go to the other articles, of course. But then you'd say in this article, we're going to focus on depression, right? And then you go into what's unique. At the very end, you remind them of the takeaway of what's in there, but then you create a bottom part that you would work with, I guess, an outro if you want, or an end that would, again, recap on that category. And so what happens is you create some consistency with an 80-20 rule. And so you're not necessarily creating all that content from scratch over and over again. You're doing minor alterations and then, keeping the juice in the middle. So yeah, awesome. Vicky, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. So now I just need to
I'm excited for you. Yeah, I'm excited for you. I can see where this is going. What are you going to do next? Forget what I see. What's important is what's about you right now. Where are you going with this next? What are the next steps?
Yeah, so next step is just to make it nicer for user to have like checklists. So one is the PDF checklist, which we will be able to send and then at the same time, I was thinking to digitalize it and to make it like a quizzes. Take a quiz. So there is like Typeform or like SurveyMonkey or stuff like that. I had experience with Typeform. It's kind of like a nice visual. So we can just use our own branding as well. And having like, how do you feel today? And then like, if it's low, maybe you have some kind of like depression or something, and then we can continue that.
Fantastic. I think the other thing as well, you remember how we were talking about the therapist? I know that's in your next hack. aligning the therapist with this outline. And that's why this paper prototype is a lot more valuable than it might seem. This outline not also allows you to create those diagnostic tools digitally, which is next step growth hacking, but also it allows you to get your therapist aligned by topic, right? So if you've got 27 here, you are, if you had, of course, just one therapist, that's 27, but ultimately you'd minimum want 3 to 5 expert therapists per topic. So your roster of experts who will be able to create content in that area is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I had a chat, and like a lot of them as well are very excited about this.
Yeah, and you'll get them to choose by topic. So this structure, they'll tell you, I can do mood disorder and I can do the following 2 things. And so what that does is it allows us to get focused on aligning certain experts in certain places, and it gets people really, really focused. So keep that for next hack, right? And we won't give away too much of the next hack, right? Yeah,
sure.
There we go. That's awesome, guys. I love what I see here. Vicky, anything else you want to share with us before we move on to hack number 2?
No, I'm just really excited to continue. Thanks so much, Nader.
Awesome. So Vicky from MindTools, get the information below. Download her app, first session free. For those of you tuning in who want to do exactly what we do, this is the blueprint. Go use this. This is what we're doing here. Guys, thank you very much. Vicky, we'll see you in hack number 2.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.